What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got the full-on roadmap and blog post for Season 1 of Modern Warfare 3, and it's looking quite jam-packed. So today we're going to be going through all of those details, as well as my thoughts on many of the items that we're seeing, at least the thoughts that I'm allowed to share. Now, for those who don't follow me on Twitter, a couple days ago, I was actually at the Sledgehammer Studio playing with all of this Season 1 content, or at least a lot of it. I didn't necessarily get to see everything we're seeing in Season 1, but I got to play with some of the new guns, as well as on the new maps. And that's why this video is coming out a little bit late. I was stuck in the airport all day yesterday because my flight was delayed, so yeah, I am quite late on this video. Unfortunately though, they've revealed all this information, but I'm not allowed to share my impressions based on my experience with this stuff until Monday. So that's when I'll be able to share some exclusive gameplay on these maps with these guns with you guys, as well as a bunch of insight that we gathered while talking to the devs while we were at the studio. Also, just a quick heads up for anybody that might be newer to the channel, I don't play Warzone, I don't cover Warzone on this channel. Yes, the big integration is happening next week, as well as the new map, Urzikstan, that is coming next week. But that's all I'm going to say about this, because it's simply not a game that I play or have any interest in. And let's take a look at the roadmap, and the good news is, for the first time I feel like in a very long time, this is a very multiplayer-focused update. I was very surprised to see this. I thought the big push would be for Warzone, but no, it's for Modern Warfare 3. We've got a ton of content to talk about here. And let's start it off with the maps that we're getting. We have 3 6v6 maps coming, as well as 1 2v2 map, and these have been mentioned in the past at least, but we got some new images to share for you guys. First off, with the launch of the season on December 6th, we've got MWIII, which is a very small map. Then we have Greece, which is more of a medium-sized map, with some water paths in there as well. Nice, bright, colorful map. And then in season, we're going to be getting Rio, so that'll be coming with the mid-season update. I've seen some people speculating online that some of these are like remastered or reimagined versions of maps, but no, all 3 of these are brand new original maps. As for 2v2, they are bringing Gunfight back with Season 1, and that's going to be including many of the Gunfight maps from Modern Warfare 2, as well as a brand new one, which is called Training Facility. On top of that, we've actually got 2 new kill streaks coming. We've got the EMP, which was shown off in the multiplayer trailer. A lot of people have been wondering, where's the EMP? Well, it is coming with Season 1, and that one is going to be a 13 kill streak or a 1625 score streak. And this one will disrupt enemy kill streaks as well as heads-up displays. And then we also have the Swarm, just like from Black Ops 2. So it's a bunch of those mosquito drones. You just call it in and you've got a giant swarm of them, and they'll just be hitting the map hard once you call them in. That one is going to be quite a high kill streak at 15 kills or 1875 score. As for the next thing, some people are pretty unhappy to see this. There is a new vest coming with Season 1, and this is the Assassin Vest. And with this vest, you get these standard 3 perks, so you get your gloves, your boots, and 1 piece of gear. You get 1 tactical, 1 lethal, but you don't get a field upgrade while using this. And the perks that come with this are, first off, kills won't be displaying skulls on the death location for enemy players. And on top of this, you have permanent ghost, which means even when you're standing still, you will be off the radar. Unlike the Ghost TV camo, which is in the gear slot, which does require movement in order to keep active. And they also do mention here, if you try to stack this with the Ghost TV perk, it's just going to give you cold-blooded, essentially, or hijacked IFF strobe. And that's all you really need to know about the vest. Personally, I'm a little skeptical about this vest. I think it is going to be a crutch for a lot of people, and honestly, I don't know if the downsides really match the upsides to this one, relative to the other vests and their downsides and upsides. I think this is just going to be an obvious choice for many people, and I think the UAV is going to be a whole lot less useful once Season 1 drops. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely think the Ghost gear that we currently have could use a little bit of a buff just to be a bit more forgiving with the movement thresholds and everything like that. And I think we still may see adjustments to that, but I definitely didn't want to see a full-on permanent Ghost perk return to the game, even if it comes in the form of a vest. In saying that though, I think they could potentially balance this, and maybe down the road after they release it and collect a bunch of data on it, maybe if the usage is way too high, they will make some adjustments. And honestly, with how powerful this seems to be relative to the other vests, I'd be totally fine if this eliminated your gear slot. So that way you could still have your practically full-on stealth build, you could have your permanent ghost and your covert sneakers, but giving up that gear slot would be quite a large trade-off, because that's where some of the best perks in the game are. In either case, we'll have to see how that plays out. Maybe it won't be as bad as I'm expecting, because what I am expecting is popping a UAV in Season 1 and only seeing like 1 or 2 dots on the minimap. Next up, let's talk about game modes that are coming throughout the season. There's actually quite a few returning modes here. Obviously, like I said, Gunfight is returning. We also have All or Nothing coming at the launch of the season. And then in season, we're going to be seeing a brand new limited time mode called Vortex. And with this, it's a free-for-all style mode on the Vortex maps, which are basically just really cool looking reskins of the regular maps that are already in the game. We've got Satan's Quarry, Tetanus, which is a Rust variant, as well as Spore Yard, which is obviously a Scrapyard variant. And with this particular mode, it's a free-for-all style mode, but one player spawns in with the zombie's ray gun, a really, really powerful ray gun. It's a one-shot kill weapon. However, anybody that manages to eliminate that operator, they end up getting the ray gun, and they become that new operator with the ray gun. So it sounds like you'll just be fighting over the ray gun while also trying to rack up kills and win the game. And that sounds like that'd be a fun limited time mode. On top of that, mid-season, we're going to be seeing Santa's Sleigh Ground. And this one is going to include holiday-themed maps, including Shipmas and Hangover, and it says just try not to get bitten, so it seems like zombies are going to be in here as well. I honestly don't know what to expect with this mode. This is definitely not something we got to see at the studio. After that, for game modes, we have Infected coming back with the mid-season update, which I'm really happy to see. I love Infected. It's just a great place to go and chill, basically, and not have to play in a highly competitive match. One thing I wanted to point out with their description here is they mentioned for those that are not infected, they must use all of the skill and firepower they've amassed to keep their humanity intact. And the way I'm reading that, at least, is you have to amass firepower, which I'm hoping means there's going to be some form of a specialist style of a system, even if it's just for infected, where as you continue to get kills, you will become a little bit more powerful. Perhaps that's just wishful thinking on my part, but that's a huge element of infected that's been missing in recent years. But then Headquarters is also going to be coming back in a mid-season update, and Team Gunfight. This is a brand new mode, which is effectively just gunfight, but it's 6v6 and it takes place on the regular maps. So everybody's going to spawn in with the same random loadout, and it's a no respawn mode, and you just have to eliminate the other team, and it's a round-based mode. And that actually sounds quite interesting. I'm surprised they haven't tried this yet, at least as far as I can remember, they haven't tried a mode like this. After that, they did mention ranked play is coming mid-season, so that's great to see they're getting on top of ranked play fairly early on, and we're not waiting till like February at least to see ranked play, unless it happens to get delayed, but it seems like they're on track with things. And now let's move into the brand new weapons and aftermarket parts that we're going to be seeing within Season 1. And at launch, in the free tiers of the Battle Pass, we're actually getting 3 new weapons. Normally you only get 2 with a season, but this time we're getting 3. And the first one is the XRK Stalker Sniper Rifle, which is fairly loosely based on a K-Dex. And they just mentioned this is good for one-hit kills. We're also going to be seeing the Ram 7, which you guys might recognize from Modern Warfare 2019. And they describe that as having solid power and mobility. I'll have plenty of gameplay for you guys with that on Monday. And then finally, for the launch weapons that are going to be in the free version of the Battle Pass, we have the Stormender, which is actually a launcher, but it's an interesting launcher. This one fires a localized EMP with a slight delay. So you have to charge it up a little bit. You have to pull that trigger, let it charge, and then it fires, kind of like a pulse rifle. And it destroys tactical and lethal equipment and temporarily disables other electronic devices. They also mentioned this brand new weapon has the power to shoot down specific kill streaks and take out drones with its lock-on capabilities. So you can also lock onto streaks, and it has unlimited recharging ammo. Now the catch with this is it deals limited damage to operators, so it's not going to be the type of weapon you use to try to kill enemy players. It's really just for taking out streaks or equipment. Then later on in the season, we're going to be seeing 2 more guns. The first one is an SMG, the HRM-9, and they describe this as a light yet stable 9mm SMG with a high fire rate and excellent handling and mobility. And then on top of that, we're going to be seeing the TAC Evolver LMG, and this is an advanced multi-caliber LMG capable of firing 7.62 or 5.56 with minimal adjustments to the weapon. So it sounds like it's just going to take like one attachment to swap between the calibers, and therefore swap between a high or low damage. And that sounds pretty interesting. So 5 new weapons, that's really solid for a season, although you could argue that Stormender is not a typical weapon. It's not the type of weapon you'll use against enemy players. It's still a new weapon nonetheless. And then on top of that, we have 9 aftermarket parts coming, and 5 of these aftermarket parts are effectively new guns, because it'll turn an existing gun into something that behaves totally different. And going through the list here, we have the Jack Purifier, which is an underbarrel flamethrower. I'll be able to share a bit more information on that on Monday, but I'm personally not overly concerned about that one. Then we have the Jack Etten Double Barrel Kit for the AMR-9, and this is going to give it 2 stacked barrels that fire simultaneously, which offers twice as much downrange damage at the cost of some accuracy. And I hope this is good, because the base AMR-9 is not very good in its current state, so it'd be nice if this really brings it up to the level of other guns in the game. After that, we have the Jack Thunder LMG kit for the Sidewinder, so you can effectively turn the Sidewinder into an LMG, so you get a high-capacity magazine with this, and it ramps up the fire rate the longer you hold down the trigger. And that's pretty cool. We have seen guns like that in the past with Call of Duty. I like it when they do variable fire rate weapons because they do truly feel unique compared to the other guns in the game. And hopefully this makes the Sidewinder viable as well, just like with the AMR-9. After that, we have the JAK BRB, and this is actually a compensator. So this is going to apply to most of the guns in the game, actually. And with this, they mention it gives you phenomenal reduction to recoil, so presumably like the best recoil reduction in the muzzle category. However, the downside with this is you have an extended red dot on enemy radars. So when you fire this, that dot's going to linger for longer. And I love that they're playing around with this. This is something Cold War did with a lot of their muzzles, is they would change how long that dot appears on the minimap. I think that's a really cool system, and I'm excited to see how this one plays out. Then we've got the JAK Bullseye, which is a very low profile dot optic. And again, this is going to be available on probably most of the guns. They say redacted for compatibility, but I suspect this should be available on most of the regular guns in the game. Along with the JAK Glassless optic, which is a small glassless reflex optic that offers a crisp and clear sight picture for snappy target acquisition. And I think that's really cool that they're bringing new optics into the game. After that one, we've got the JAK Signal Burst for the Holger 5.56, and this actually turns it into a 4-round burst gun, so it'll be kind of like the M8A1 or M8A7, I'm guessing at least. So it's going to be very accurate and have that 4-round burst. Then we have the JAK Beholder Rifle Kit for the Tier or Tire handgun. And this actually turns the handgun essentially into a single-shot rifle, which I think is pretty cool. And then finally for our aftermarket parts, we have the JAK Headhunter carbine conversion for the Rival 9 SMG. And this converts it to a 3-round burst that excels at mid-range. So this is looking excellent. Like I said, 5 of those 9 kits that we just talked about are effectively brand new guns. They're going to behave nothing like the base version of the gun. So it's almost like we're getting 10 new guns this season, which is just crazy to see. And then finally, we are getting like new operators and crossovers with like Dune, for instance. I don't usually cover the cosmetic stuff a whole lot because I just don't care about that. I care about the gameplay and things that actually affect the gameplay. So we're going to skip ahead to the weekly challenges. There's just going to be a new set of weekly challenges throughout the season. And they gave us a sneak peek at the Camo for completing all of the weekly challenges throughout the season. I don't think this one looks quite as nice as the preseason Camo, but it's still a neat looking Camo. And then they also mentioned our quote-unquote prestige that we're going to be seeing when Season 1 drops. And unfortunately, it's going to be basically the same system as Modern Warfare 2. So they're adding 5 prestiges with Season 1, and they'll just continue adding more as time goes on. But it's not like the old school prestige system, of course. Instead, you just have that number that ticks up in the background and you get calling cards and various cosmetics and stuff as you continue to rank up. Personally, I don't care about this at all. I have no idea what prestige I was in the past several games, and I really don't care. It's completely meaningless to me, which is a bit unfortunate. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for everything that we can expect to see on the multiplayer side of things for Modern Warfare 3. And honestly, I'm pretty blown away by this. I hope they're able to keep up this kind of momentum going forward into future seasons. I can't think of a season in recent years that's been this jam-packed with content specifically for the multiplayer side of the game. It seems like that's really a heavy emphasis for them this year, and I'm really happy to see that. Usually Warzone is what's stealing the show, but that's not the case with this season. And as somebody that primarily cares about multiplayer, this is excellent news. Now, of course, I am really curious to hear what you guys are thinking about all of this Season 1 content that we can expect to see for Modern Warfare 3. And just a quick mention, since I'm sure many of you guys are going to ask about this, yesterday the developers also, for the first time I think ever, released an official statement regarding skill-based matchmaking. And I think that's something that deserves a full-on video, so I might have that up later today, and if not, it'll be up for tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that one, and also just remember, on Monday, I will be sharing some exclusive gameplay with some of this Season 1 content that we're going to be seeing. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.